Stan Dash, technically speaking, where is the S&P? Is it overbought or oversold?
We've probably moved in recent weeks, into a little bit of overbought territory. But the market still does look good when you take a look at some of the longer term charts. We've got some areas to clear above the market. Everybody knows that. Certainly we're all colored by the action of just the last couple of days. It's important not to be focused solely on the last couple of days, no matter how bullish they've been, but to stay with your game plan as well. But the market has reacted very well to what we've seen in the news recently, and it's reacted overall pretty well to changes in our economy as we come out of these last few years of problems.
Well, that's the S&P. Let's talk a little bit about tech. People are watching Apple move lower towards the end of 2012. As goes Apple, so goes the NASDAQ. What are the charts telling you?
Well, the Apple may have seen its highs for a while. I know there are fundamentalists who would be calling for higher targets, and that's fine. But it may have run its course as the shining star of NASDAQ. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the company, of course, but it may have been that it was overdone and sort of over-accumulated in some portfolios. As you see rotation of strength into different sectors, it may be that the tech sector will back off a little bit, and that means money managers will have to reallocate. Maybe some of that will be reallocated away from Apple.
What about reallocating out of financials? You look at the XLF, which is the ETF, which tracks financials, especially banks, had a great year 2012, up around 25%.
Yep.
Do you take some money off the table in 2013?
That sector actually still looks pretty good. If you look at rotation between the major sectors, that sector has obviously reflected that strength in 2012 that you mentioned, but it's still rising, and it really has not rolled over at all yet.
Finally, any sectors to avoid?
Well, some of the ones that have begun to roll over a little bit, and they bear watching, we don't know what will happen, of course, is healthcare in particular. I mentioned technology and consumer discretionary. I think you want to watch those. They're not bear markets, but you want to watch those. They're starting to show a little bit of gray around the temples.